Wow, 200,000 miles. Well, I got a lot to talk about as far as this whole 200,000 mile event, but got to get something out of the way real quick. Merry Christmas, Spider, man. Y'all motherfuckers are on it. We have one person that was really close, but so far, the tools are still up for grabs. So the first clue was the Spider could be found in a video related to the stuff that you see in the About Me section, meaning it's in a video involving the Trailblazer Envoy, the Tahoe, the CK pickups, or the Silverado Sierras. Well, today's clue, the Spider's not in any of the pickup videos. So all my CK pickup videos, he's not in there, and the Silverado Sierra videos, he's not in one of those either. So that really narrows it down. So that's today's clue. Good luck, and Merry Christmas, Spider. Well, this is kind of like a double milestone here, because not only did I just turn 200,000 miles on the Trailblazer, this week also marked 10 years of owning my Trailblazer. One of the biggest questions that I get is, what's my secret? Rather than start this off with some list of my magic secret, which there isn't really one, I'd rather go and talk to you about what I didn't do. The biggest thing, like this sticker says, change your motor oil and filter every 3 months or 3,000 miles. I've never once done a 3,000 mile oil change in this truck. Now, in my previous vehicles before my Trailblazer, I did follow the 3,000 mile recommended service because fuck, that's what everybody said since like I was born. Well, probably before I was born. But that's all I've heard my whole life. Change your oil every 3 months, 3,000 miles, and okay, no problem, I'll just do it, whatever. When I got this truck and started hanging out at the Trailblazer website, people were talking about the oil life monitoring system. I don't have the book in front of me or whatever, but the computer uses a lot of factors to determine when to tell you to change your oil. In most cases, this light comes on like once a year, maybe 11, 12, 13,000 miles. That's when I change the oil. Let's think about this for a minute. Back when these trucks came out, they're all under warranty, and they're telling people right from the start, you don't change your oil every 3,000 miles. Then figure that GM was warrantying stuff even though people weren't changing their oil every 3,000 miles. So they're saying, hey, we don't care if you don't change the oil every 3,000 miles. An engine failure is going to be covered by us. If changing the oil in these trucks every 3,000 miles is that important, then it should have been a condition to get warranty engine work done. I never went with the 3,000 mile service in this truck. Here we are at 200,000 miles. What more do you want? Now, if you're not going to do 3,000 mile oil changes, there's something else to think about. Forget the oil change part. Think about what else that, a shop is going to do every 3 months when you bring your car in for oil change. They're going to like check the fluids, check for any leaks, check the overall condition of the vehicle, things like that. That should be done periodically. And I'm not going to put a timetable on it. Me, realistically, I really give my trucks a good look over once or twice a year. That's it. Just say like the first nice day, like today where it's like 60 some degrees outside, I might go check the tires, check the tire pressure, check the fluids, crawl underneath, look around, see if I got anything leaking or fucked up. That is stuff that, depending on how you look at it, should be done. Now, along with the argument of changing your oil every 3,000 miles, there's another one I'm going to throw up here. Take a look at this picture. We're going to go back in time a little bit for when I changed the oil in this Trailblazer, and what are we taking out here? The dreaded orange Fram filter. Holy shit, guys, don't use these filters, because some fucking guy on YouTube cut them open and found cardboard separator or whatever the fuck that shit was. Now, I can't tell you exactly how many orange Fram filters I've used on this truck over the years, but it's been a lot. I think when my buddy sold his i6 Trailblazer, he gave me like a case that was like cracked open at -2. So maybe 10 filters have gone on this truck. And here we are, 200,000 miles, still alive and kicking. There's nothing wrong with whatever filter somebody wants to use. At the end of the day, who the fuck cares? All right, I got another picture to throw up here. Now, per this company's standards, it is recommended to flush and exchange transmission fluid, power steering fluid, brake fluid, and coolant every 30,000 miles. Per my standards, a lot of that shit is unnecessary, and in my opinion, it's a waste of money. You're telling me that every 30,000 miles, I should have all these services done, despite them not being in the owner's manual of my truck? Come on, man. I've never flushed the brake fluid. I've never flushed the power steering fluid. I have kept up on my transmission service, and I've serviced the cooling system in this vehicle twice, and both times it was topped back off with Dexcool. Now, a lot of these fucking shops, particularly one bunch of inbred motherfuckers, are going to tell you, get that Dexcool out of there. There's nothing wrong with it. It was just hard to believe in 2016 that customers would buy a vehicle and come into the shop and say, I'm taking your advice. We got to get the Dexcool out of this thing. not realizing that they're not doing anything that will prolong the life of the vehicle. Right next to the unnecessary flushes, fuel system additives are right up there as far as ripoffs, in my opinion. And my 200,000 mile Trailblazer kind of verifies that for me. The only thing that has gone in the gas tank in this truck over the last 200,000 miles has been good old gasoline. None of that shit they try to sell you at AutoZone. None of that shit they try to sell you at your favorite repair shop. None of that shit that they say you have to do that's going to have some imaginary gains that have never been proven in real life. You know, you pour your magic piss in the gas tank, and now you're just like studying the gas gauge, and you're like, man, I'm really getting far on this. Data rules, motherfuckers. You know, they say that rotating the tires, you know, prolongs the life of the tires, and it does. However, I don't do that. You guys seen this before. My front tires were wore down to nothing. I went out and got 2 front tires. It wasn't a big deal. Rear tires wore out. Got new rear tires. It's not a big deal. And they're not getting rotated, and that's the way it is. I do understand that people do like to get the tires rotated and get the brake inspection done for peace of mind, and that's awesome. I'm not even going to knock that. And hey, you know, if you're going to take the wheels off anyway to check the brakes, if you want to swap the tires around to prolong the life of them, that's cool. I'm not going to knock it. I don't do it. And here we are, 200,000 miles. Now, I've talked about a lot of the stuff that I haven't done to this truck, which is really the most important thing I wanted to say. But what really did I do to get to 200,000 miles? Man, not much. I followed the scheduled maintenance, and I took care of problems as they came up. You've seen the 100,000 mile service I did on this truck. You know, I didn't want to go and spend all that cash on the plugs, the fuel filter, the diff fluids, the transmission service and all that. I didn't want to spend that kind of money on that. But they wrote that book for a reason. You know, and I followed the book. Here we are. You know, I hear a noise in the engine, shake down the water pump. Hey, our water pump's growling. I want to put a new water pump on it. Going for a ride, I could hear a constant until I hit the brake pedal. Hey, I think my brake pads are getting a little bit low. Put on pads. Not a big deal. Or if you're riding down the road, hit a bump, there's a clunking noise. Well, I typically don't even like fuck with them because I hate those clunking noises. But then at some point it's like, all right, let's see what we got. So really, when it's all said and done, following the maintenance and taking care of problems as they arise, that's been my secret, if you even want to call it that. That's it. Now that this truck has 200,000 miles on it, I find myself in kind of a dilemma. And that is, do I keep it or do I sell it? I'm not alone in this. A lot of times when people turn a milestone, whether it's 100,000, 150,000, 200,000, and they bring their car to my work, they might say things like, well, what do you think? Should I keep it or sell it? And it's really hard to answer that kind of a question because none of us have a crystal ball. We can't consult the magic 8-ball. Hey, is the Trailblazer going to make it to 250,000 miles? Should I just get rid of it now while there's no problems? The magic 8-ball doesn't fucking know. Nobody knows. I like to look at it as reasons to keep it and reasons to sell it. My most important reason for keeping this, it's paid for. It doesn't owe me a thing, and I don't make a monthly payment on it. That's definitely a big plus. The frame is in good condition. The engine and the driveline are in good condition. I don't have any major leaks or noises or anything like that. Another reason to keep this thing, parts are readily available for it. Last on my list for keeping it, this thing is so fucking comfortable and the ride quality is so good. It's going to be hard to walk away from that. This truck has been deadened front to back, even under the hood, even weird places like behind the side view mirrors, so they didn't really rattle that much anymore. And the end result is, I could ride down this motherfucker with the radio off, just cruising down the road, and it is really a quiet ride. I mean, it really is a good ride. And this is still, by far, the most comfortable fucking thing I've ever driven. You know what I'm saying? Even more comfortable than the leather seats in the Tahoe. This is boss shit right here. Fuck you, Tahoe. Now we got reasons to sell this thing. Well, a lot of this stuff is original. Well, I said before that the ride quality in this thing is good. It's good up until you hit bumps or rough roads. Like, especially the main road in the town I work in, the road is all fucked up. When you drive this thing down that road with the radio off, just like cruising, man, it sounds like one of them street performers banging on all them buckets, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this shit is fucked up. Well, I've said that the engine, the transmission, the drivetrain, it is all in good shape. It's mechanically sound. It all works. The shit is original with 200,000 miles on it. When you break this truck down into front suspension, rear suspension, steering, the brake system, man, it's all original. And there's no guarantee, like I said, of how long all of these things are going to last. Keeping that in mind, it is very possible that this truck could start nickel and diamond me to death. Very possible. Now the body and paint on this thing, she's rough, man. She's got 200,000 miles on her. I drive her every day. You know what I'm saying? She's got dings, scratches. That's why she's called Scratchy Black. The clear coat is fading pretty bad, especially in the passenger side rear corner area and the driver's side front quarter area. The clear coat's gone. It's not really a big deal, but of course, I mean, who the fuck wouldn't want a car with a fucking banging ass paint job on it or something? You know what I mean? That is something I would want to do. And I would want, if I was looking for another vehicle, I'd want it to have a body that's in good shape. The body and paint aren't going to affect the reliability, or it won't leave me stranded or cause me to crash into somebody, but it's just one of the things that would put it on my sell list. Now, of course, being that we just turned 200,000 miles, well, we've just done a full revolution in the owner's manual, which means we've got to do the whole 100,000 mile service again. The spark plugs, the fuel filter, the air filter, the cleaning of the throttle body, the driveline fluids, the full transmission flush. Right there, we're looking at $500. And that's not negotiable. I can't say, well, I got 200,000 miles, it'll be all right. No, I still have to follow the maintenance. So right away, if I'm keeping this thing, that's $500 gone right there, just in maintenance. Now I'm looking at what would it cost to find a replacement vehicle? What would it cost to find a big GM SUV with relatively low miles that is mechanically sound, the body's in good condition, it's a comfortable ride? What would it really cost? If only I had something to compare it to. Big SUV in good condition with low miles. Well, let me put it to you this way. The cost of buying said SUV can easily be 5 figures, and that's no exaggeration. So the cost of replacement, starting at $10,000. Fuck. So with the cost of replacement up over $10,000, what would the cost be to actually restore this truck? Well, by restore this truck, I mean go over it front to back. Go through the worn out front suspension, the worn out rear suspension, the braking system, the steering system. Now I've gone and actually have started estimating what it would cost to take care of all the reasons in my reasons to sell list. If I was to do it all myself, I'd probably be a little bit under $4,000 for everything. You might be going at $4,000, holy shit. I mean, we're talking about a full restoration as far as like the steering, the suspension, the brakes, the driveline stuff, all that, everything. The $4,000 budget also allotted $1,500 for, let's just say the engine goes up in this thing, or I service this transmission at 200,000 miles and then it fucking goes kaput, or the diff goes out, or a problem with the transfer case. It leaves a little bit of leeway for big stuff like that. But really we're at like $4,000. It wouldn't make sense to go and do all the suspension work, the brake work, the steering work, and then say, oh, well, this truck needs a motor, I gotta get rid of it. That shit ain't gonna happen, so it's gonna really be an all or nothing deal. So if we're at $4,000 right there, and we know that a replacement vehicle is gonna easily start at $10,000, we're way the fuck ahead. You know what I'm saying? We're way ahead. I can get the body and paint cleared up, maybe even get the real deal projector HIDs, do a little bit of audio upgrading. I mean, this audio system is getting close to 10 years old. Everything still works. There's not really a problem with it. One of the things that should not influence this decision at all is sentimental value of the truck. I mean, this truck has a ton of sentimental value. Well, first of all, I've owned it for 10 years. This is the truck that led me to discover internet forums. I've taken this truck to numerous car shows up and down the East Coast. A lot of people have checked this thing out. I've made a lot of friends, met a lot of cool people, done a lot of cool shit. I mean, this truck has a ton of sentimental value. Me and this truck have inspired thousands of people to try repairs that they may have not thought that they were capable of doing. The fact that this truck has generated millions of views on YouTube, I mean, this truck has a lot of sentimental value, and it can influence the decision I really am faced with. Do I keep it or sell it? I think the bottom line is, if I could not do the repairs that are required to restore this thing, I would sell it. I mean, think about this. If I'm going to be in this thing for like $2,500 just in parts for the suspension, the steering, the brakes, and some other miscellaneous odds and ends, can you imagine what the labor would be? With most shops averaging $100 an hour now, I mean, it wouldn't make sense to invest that kind of money into a truck with, 200,000 miles on it. Now with this whole buying and selling and 200,000 mile stuff we're talking about, that kind of opens up one more small topic of conversation here. So let's just say right now, I take all my stereo and mods out of this truck, convert it all back to stock, and it ends up at some car lot somewhere, and you were to buy it. You just bought a high mileage Trailblazer. What kind of things could you be in for? You would be inheriting something that has the same problems that popped up on my why I should sell it list. Do you see what I'm saying? You're in luck, because when the weather starts getting nicer, we're gonna start restoring this Trailblazer, really one part at a time. So that about wraps it up for the 200,000 mile video, celebrating 10 years on the internet. It's really crazy how a chance rental of a vehicle turned into all this, man. It really is. So that about wraps it up for the video. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe, and we're gonna get cracking on this restoration here as soon as the weather breaks.